Hey there, Max here, and today we're going to be watching the other video from Bill Wurtz, History of Japan. We did the History of the World, I guess, video just the other moment, and I want to go ahead and do the other video. Now, I definitely know a few things about Japan from studying. That's about it, though. Nothing firsthand, sadly. One day, maybe. And I have seen a bit of this, and I really want to watch this here with everyone. So let's go ahead and get right into this one here. This is also another good classic, I feel. Let's go ahead and get this started. If you enjoy, please do like a like. If you do not, go ahead and put a dislike. If you have anything that you want me to react towards, please put it in the comments. And please do subscribe to help build my community and follow along for more for the future. Japan! Let's see what the history is.
Japan is an island by the sea filled with volcanoes and
Yes, it is! Yes, it very much is.
in the year negative a billion, Japan might not have been here. In the year negative 40,000, it was here, and you
Ooh.
could walk to it, and some people walk to it.
You really think there was a land bridge that late at that time?
Then it got warmer, some icebergs melted, it became an island, and now there's lots of trees, because it's warmer. So now there's people on the island, they're basically sort of hanging out in between the mountains, eating nuts off trees, and using the latest technology, like stones and bowls. Ding dong, it's the outside world, and they have technology from the future, like really good metal and crazy
You know, I really would love to know what, like, all the old age tech of those days was like.
rice farms. Now you can make a lot of rice really, really quickly. That means if you own the farm, you own a lot of food, which is something everybody needs to survive.
Kind of important.
So that makes you king. Rice farming and rice kingdoms spread across the land, all the way to here. The most important kingdoms were here, 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 and here. But this one was the most important.
Yamato!
Ruled by a heavenly superperson, or emperor for short. Knock knock, get the door. It's religion. The new prince wants
Oh, yes, everybody loves their religions, don't they?
everyone to try this hot new religion from Biekt. Please try this
Is that really what it was pronounced?
religion, he said. No, said everybody. Try it, he said. No, said everybody again, quieter this time. And so the religion was put into place, and all the rules that came with it. Then the government was taken over by another clique, and they made some reforms,
Yeah, that's usually how that goes.
like making the government govern more, and making the government more like China's government, which is a government that governs more. Hi, China, they said. Hi, dipshit, said
Oh, yeah, that's right. China wasn't big fans of Japan.
China. Can you call us something else other than dipshit? Said Japan. Like what? Said China. How about Sunrise Land? Said Japan. And they stole China's alphabet and wrote a book about themselves. And then they made lots of poetry and art and another book about themselves. Then they stopped moving the capital every time the emperor died and kept it in one place for a while, right here.
I didn't realize that they were moving the capital to wherever the emperor
They
was.
conquered the north finally. Get that squared away. A rich hipster named Kukai
Wonder why it took so long to get the northern portion of it. Like, was there actually like different tribes of people up that direction?
is bored with modern Buddhism, visits China, and learns a better version, which is more spiritual. Comes back, reinvents the alphabet, and causes art and literature to be great
And that alphabet is pretty much the only part of Japan I really know.
for a long time. And the royal palace turned into such a dream world of art that they really didn't give a shit about running the country. So if you live outside the palace, how are you supposed to protect your shit from criminals? Hire a samurai. Everyone started hiring samurai.
Well,
Rich,
that's
important
fair.
people hired samurai. Poor people who could not afford to hire
go.
samurai did not hire samurai. The samurai became organized and powerful, more powerful than the government. So they made their own military government. Here, they let the emperor still be emperor, but
I mean, after all, they are the emperor.
the
after all.
shogun is actually in control.
You pissed off the shogun, now the shogun turns on you.
Breaking news: the Mongols have invaded China.
We've invaded China.
Said the Mongols.
Please respect us, or else we might invade you as well.
Okay, said Japan. So the
Gotta give it to him. Wanting to fight against the Mongols is definitely that is based.
Mongols came over, ready for war, and died in a tornado. But they
And they got so dang lucky that they basically got flushed out by storms and such trying to get to the islands.
tried again and
The
had
majority of the time.
a nice time fighting with the Japanese, but then
Yeah, sure, nice time,
died
sure.
in a tornado. Then the emperor overthrows the shogunate. Then the shogunate overthrows him back and moves to Kyoto and makes a new shogunate. And the emperor can still dress like an emperor if he wants. That's fine. Now there's more art, like painting with less colors, collaborative poetry.
Is there still technically an imperial family in Japan? I can't remember.
Plays, monkey fun, tea parties, gardening,
Monkey fun.
architecture, flowers. It's time for who's going to be the next shogun.
Ah, this is the big one that everybody knows.
Usually it's the shogun's kid, but the shogun doesn't have a kid, so he tries to get his brother to quit being a monk and be the next shogun. He says okay, but then the shogun has a kid. So now who's it gonna be? Vote now on your phones. And everyone voted so hard that the palace caught on fire and burned down. The shogun actually didn't care. He was off somewhere doing poetry. And the whole
Oh, lucky him.
country broke into pieces.
Ooh, and
Everyone is fighting with each other for local power.
is that the what's that called? Is that the Genpei Wars?
And it's anybody's game. Knock knock, it's Europe. No, they're not
Oh,
here
lovely.
to take over. They just want to
Yeah.
sell some shit.
Yeah.
Clocks and guns and Jesus. So that's cool, but everyone's still fighting each other for control. Now
Nice.
with guns.
I saw the Odas and I saw the Tokugawas.
Wouldn't it be nice to control the capital, which right now is puppets, with no one controlling them? This clan is ready to make a run for it, but first they have to trample this smaller clan, which is in the way.
I don't think that goes well.
Surprise, the smaller clan wins, and the leader of that clan steals the
Nobunaga!
idea of invading the capital and invades the capital, and it goes very well. He's about halfway through conquering Japan when someone who works for him kills him, and then
As one does.
someone else who works for him kills them, and that guy finishes conquering Japan.
Oh,
And then
told
he
me.
confiscated everybody's swords and made some rules. And now I'm going to invade Korea and then hopefully China, he said, and failed, and also died. But
To be fair, that is the most effective way of getting a population under your control.
before
Be
he
the only one with a military.
died, he told these 5 guys to take care of his 5-year-old son until he's old enough to be the next ruler of Japan.
I don't think you can trust anybody to do that for you.
And the 5 guys said, yeah, right, it's not going to be this kid, it's going to be one of us, because we're grown-ups. And it's probably going to be this guy who happens
Tokugawa!
to be way more rich and powerful than the others.
You know, that is kind of fitting.
A lot of people support him, but a lot of people support not supporting him. They have a fight, and he wins, and starts a new government, right here. And he still lets the emperor dress like an emperor, and have very nice things, but don't
Yeah, I mean, why would the Emperor care what everybody else is doing for this other stuff, as long as the Emperor gets to be the Emperor and everyone tries to follow along what he says, occasionally.
get confused. This is the new government, and they are very strict. So strict they close the country. No one can leave, and no one can come in, except for the Dutch, if they want to buy and sell shit, but they have to do it right here. Now that the entire country was not at war with itself, the population increased a
Theoretically.
lot. Business increased, schools were built, roads were built, everyone learned to read, books were published, there was poetry, plays, sexy times, puppet shows, and Dutch studies. People started to study
studies.
European science from books they bought
Sounds like they had a bit of a golden age at that point.
from the Dutch. We're talking geography, skeletons,
It kind of helps when you're not constantly at war.
physics, chemistry, astronomy, and maybe even electricity. Over time, the economic and cultural prosperity began to gradually slow down.
Oh,
No.
hello.
It's the United States, with huge boats, with guns, gunboats. Open the country. Stop
You know, curious, does it technically need to have guns to be considered a gunboat?
having it be closed, said the United States. There's really nothing they could do.
I mean, specifically a certain amount of guns to be considered a gunboat and not just a boat with guns.
So they signed a contract that lets the United States, Britain, and Russia visit Japan anytime they want. Choshu
Russia in it at that time.
and Satsuma hated this. That sucks, they said. This sucks. And with almost very little outside help, they overthrew the shogunate and somehow made the emperor again and moved him to Edo, which they renamed
That is a very, very European looking set of clothing there.
Eastern capital. They made a new government, which was a lot more Western. They made a new constitution that was pretty Western, and a military that was pretty Western. And do you know what else is Western? That's right, it's conquering stuff. So what
Yeah,
can
that is pretty Western.
we conquer? Korea. They conquer Korea, taking it from its previous owner, China, and then go a little bit further. And Russia rushes in out of nowhere and says, "Stop, no, you can't take that. We were going to build a railroad through here to try to get some warm water." And Russia builds their railroad, supervised by a shit ton of soldiers. And then when the railroad was done, they downgraded to a fuck ton.
I don't think that's how that works.
Did I say downgrade? I meant upgrade. And Japan says, "Can you maybe chill?" And Russia says, "How about maybe you chill?" Japan is kind of scared of Russia. You'll never
I mean,
get
can you blame them?
who's also kind of scared of Russia. Great Britain. So Japan and Great Britain make an alliance together so they can be a little less scared of Russia. Feeling confident, Japan goes to war
It's kind of funny how Russia seems to be a linchpin of a lot of we're scared of you, let's make alliance kind of deals.
against Russia, just for a moment, and then they both get tired and stop. It's time for World War I. The world is about to have a war, because it's the 1900s and weapons are getting crazy.
I'm curious, how much of a point did Japan really have during World War I?
And all these empires are excited to try them out on each other. Meanwhile, Japan has been enjoying conquering stuff and wants more. And the next thing
As one
on
does.
our list is this part of China and lots of tiny islands. All that stuff belongs to Germany, which just had war declared on it by Britain because Britain was friends with Belgium, which was being trespassed by Germany in order to get to France to kick France's ass because France is friends with Russia, who was getting ready to kick Austria's ass because Austria was getting ready to kick
Oh dear God, World War I's crazy, everybody was, what's the word I'm looking for? All these defensive treaties and everything got set off just because, not necessarily because the Austrian Prince Ferdinand got taken out, but it did set off a whole powder kegs of things going off beyond that. But technically things went off before that point as well. It's just, that's kind of what everybody considers the big spark.
Serbia's ass because someone from Serbia shot the leader of Austria's ass.
Well, more the head.
Actually shot him in the head.
Yeah, that.
Britain is currently friends with Japan, so you know what that means. Duh, Japan should take the islands. Which they wanted to do anyway, so they called Britain on the telly to sort of let them...
Lucky Japan being on the right side of victory.
No. And then they did it. And they also helped Britain a little here and there with some errands and stuff. Now the war is over, and congratulations, Japan. You technically fought in the war, which means you get to sit at the negotiating table with the big dudes, where they decided who...
Where? I didn't see them.
And yes, Japan gets to keep all that shit they stole from Germany. You also get to...
Hey, they really did luck out during that conflict, didn't they?
join the post-war mega alliance, the League of Nations, whose
Which didn't exactly go that well.
mission statement is to try not to take over the world. The Great Depression is bad. Japan's economy is now crappy, but the
Pretty much everyone's was, though.
military is doing just fine, and it invades Manchuria. In the League of Nations, it's like, no, don't do that. If you're in the League of Nations, you're not supposed to take over the world. And Japan said, how about I do anyway?
Yeah, they weren't exactly that big on following Western rules.
And Japan invaded more and more and more and more of China, and was planning to invade the entire East.
You've got mail.
It's from Germany, the new leader of Germany. He has a cool mustache, and he's trying to take over the world and needs friends. This also got forwarded to Italy. They all decided to be friends because they had so much in common. It's time for World War II. Germany is invading the neighbors. Then they invade the neighbors' neighbors. Then the neighbors' neighbors' neighbors. Who...
I sometimes wonder what would have happened if Japan did not join Germany. Like, would they been able to keep more of China because that was their own kind of separate thing? Or obviously they'd be doing a lot better if they didn't have to piss off like the U.S. and then the entire U.S. Navy was going on their side of things.
Happened to be Britain said, holy shit. And the United States started helping Britain because they are good friends, and started not helping Japan because they're friends and our friends are not friends. Plus they're planning on invading the entire ocean. The United States is...
I mean, they had a good portion of that already,
also working
though.
on a large, very huge bomb, bigger than any other bomb, ever, just in case. But they still haven't joined the war. War looks bad on TV, and the United States is really starting to care about their image. But then Japan spits on them in Hawaii and challenges
Yeah, that was not exactly the brightest idea.
them to war. And they say yes. And then Germany, as a symbol of friendship,
You know, sometimes I really wonder what exactly was Japan's bright idea in that. Like, sure, maybe let's say they got lucky and they took Hawaii. What then? What are you gonna do after you try to take Hawaii? You just pissed off all of America. America could just turn right on about them, and then, like, if they could just ignore. At best, you can make the U.S. ignore Germany so much and focus completely upon them. But then what? Then the whole United States is all upon your butt. It's not exactly the brightest thing. You probably had war for a good, like, 100 years, maybe? Well, maybe not that long. But it would not have ended well, I could imagine. I don't see Japan taking over the west coast of the U.S.
declares war on the United States also. So the United States goes to war in Europe, and they help the gang chase Germany back into Germany. And they also start chasing Japan back into Japan. And they haven't used the bomb yet, and are curious to see if it works. So they drop it on Japan.
Yeah, because that was the main reason. Oh, cities that exist.
Shoot up too.
I mean, say what you will, it did the job. It stopped the war, didn't it?
The United States installed a new government, inspired by the United States government, with just the right ingredients for a post-war economic miracle. And Japan starts making TVs, VCRs, automobiles, and camcorders as fast as they can. And also,
I remember growing up, the moniker of Made in Japan was everywhere. And then eventually became Made in China, and the further along we went.
better than everybody else. They get rich, and the economy goes wild. And then the miracle wears off. But everything's still pretty cool, I guess. Bye.
Anime and video games, the best export of Japan of all time. Alright, so that was the history of Japan! Oh man, I know it was just a really speedy thing, and I'm probably sure there's some inaccuracies along the way, but it's still fun to watch any kind of history thing at all, honestly. I love history. But yeah, I thank you very much for watching this with me. You have a good one. If you enjoyed, please do leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. And if you have anything you want to comment, go ahead and comment. And please do subscribe to help build up my community and follow along with anything else I react to or Let's Play. Y'all have a good one, and thank you very much. I am out! Go live life to the max. Bye-bye!